Everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and we're going to talk about the Winter Sun Tournament, this time the Pro Division, and this is going to be the front 9 wind angles. So in this replay, in these replays, you're going to see a lot of really close shots. Bad for me that they didn't drop, although I did get an albatross on hole number 9, but good for you that they're so close that all you have to do is make a couple very small adjustments, and these shots are going to fall for you. Hey, I hope everybody likes my content. I hope I make it easy and relatable. If you're not a subscriber, please do so. You know, it would mean a lot to me to keep picking up subscribers along the way. And secondly, if this is helpful to you, just take a very quick second there and hit the thumbs up button and like the video. All right, hole number 1. We are doing the same thing with the power slice. Now, this time we're getting a little bit of a different wind angle. So I'm going to play this one a lot more right. More right than I did in the opening round, okay? So I moved my target back to the +6 yard mark, and the reason that I did that is because I have an extra mile 9, which is a little bit more powerful than an extra mile 8 or 7, or below, of course. And so I'm trying to do the best that I can to replicate your extra miles, because I know that the minority of people have an extra mile 9. Most of you are probably playing pro with a 7 or 8. Maybe a 6. So I backed it up a little bit just to show you that this can be done with your other extra miles. And you can see here, I'm basically almost have my target right on that rough line. And from here, this is a regular power slice. Now you'll see the ball comes in really nicely. We almost roll into the rough there, which is why I don't go crazy with the top spin. Now, keep in mind that this shot is going to be wind strength dependent. So some of you may roll into the rough. The shot's not 100% every single time. If you hit it perfect, well, you don't want to hit perfect, you want to slice, but I think you get what I'm saying. If you execute this drive, it is not always going to land on the fairway. You may get a good roll like I did in less wind strength. You may get not so big of a push, but still land on the fairway. So just keep that in mind. Now, what you need to do on this shot is hit perfect, okay? That's always the thing. The shot's really no different than the qualifying round. It's going to be the same thing, just a little bit of top spin, trying to aim on the fringe here. I play at 0%, but you're going to see here that I hit a great ball. So, you know, I'm going to miss. That stinks. Now, on this one, you're going to see that I didn't get as big of a push on my drive, so that's going to leave me with a thorn shot, which is just fine. The shot you're seeing right here, I played at -5% elevation. I played it at minimum distance of my club. And you saw in the graphic that you need to play this at 10% elevation. So I pulled this 1.8 rings, or 1.7. It was somewhere right in that area. I hit a perfect ball, and I was disappointed this one didn't go in. So, you know, we barely missed the left-hand side here. So, you know, had I played 0.2 or even 0.3 more rings, which is where that 10% elevation came from, that ball would have dropped. That's why I want you to play at 10% with this wind angle. Okay, that's going to leave us here to hole number 2. The shot that you're seeing here is played at, I played this one at 35% elevation. That's what my notes say. So 35%. Let's take a look at the spin. That's going to be important to note. Full back spin, sniper 10. No side spin. Like I said, I pulled this here at 35% elevation. Take a look at where I'm aiming. Basically, the target, not my target, I'm sorry, the end of my ball guide line is right there in that dark green square, kind of favoring the right-hand side of the dark green square right before the pin. Again, this is a 35% pull. The rings don't matter that I pull because you're going to be pulling at 50%, so you're going to be pulling a lot more. The reason I want to add 15% elevation to this shot is take a look at this. We end up about 4 green squares beyond the pin, and that was with 35% elevation at max distance and max backspin of our club. So we need to slow this ball down by bringing our target back, and that ball should roll in a lot smoother for you. Will it be a hole-in-one? I really don't know. You know, I didn't really get to attempt it again using that strategy, but that's what I would try to do. Okay, hole number 3, 10% elevation. This is a pretty easy drive. This is very standard. Because of the wind, we're just going to play right here in front of the bunker. As much top spin as you can. And you see here I went with 2 bars of side spin to the right. And all I'm doing right here is I'm putting about half of my blue ring in the rough and half on the fairway. This is just going to allow me to hit a great left or great right. You can see my ball guide line is basically down the middle of the fairway. From here, it's about a 3-ring pull, 10% elevation. And you don't even have to use any overpower. You can if you want to drive the ball further down the fairway. However, I don't think that's a big deal, and it's going to increase your chance of hitting a great ball. But you can see here plenty of room from our landing spot to the rough on the right-hand side. We hit at 374. That's going to leave us with the bounce over shot, especially when we get just a tad of headwind like we are here. I'm going to bounce over. Notice that spin there was 3 back, spin 1 left. I've got the ball guide going right down the middle of the hole, with the tail of the ball guide line going through the pin, which is important to note because we are getting a little bit of headwind. And this is a very long area from target to pin to bounce over. So we need to account for that secondary wind push. Perfect ball. And we got the camera angle right. Like I was already celebrating thinking this thing was in for an albatross. Wow. So super close. Disappointing not to pick up that alba. That would have been huge for my round. But either way, that's so close. You know, you can make that small little tweak there and you'll be good. You can just take a little bit of left spin off, or you can replicate my shot exactly, 3 back, 1 left, and just take it down to 0.7 left side spin, and we would have been good there. So hole number 1, hole number 3, very close. Very easy for you to make the small tweaks and get that baby to drop. All right, brings us on to hole number 4. Again, this one's a little bit frustrating for me because you're going to see why. Look at these 2 shots. Okay, max backspin here. Let's take a look at the spin adjustment. So 30% at max backspin. I end up laying off the side spin. So I go half a bar of side spin to the right. Notice here, what I'm doing is I'm moving my target down until that ball guide line gets really flat. So if you take a look at the top of my white ring, it's almost on the green. It's touching the topper part of the fringe if we're looking at it forward. So that white ring is right up against the top of that fringe line there, okay? Ball guide line nearly dead center. 30% at max. Perfect ball. And I'm glad I have 2 perfect replays to show everybody here on Pro. Man, it's like, come on. You know what I mean? You have those rounds where you're like, come on, game. You get the zoom ins, and then you barely miss. You burn the edges. So what do you think I do here? Max backspin. Oh, I should show you that probably, but I'm trying to save time here. But max backspin. Now look at the side spin to the right. Maybe like a quarter of a bar of right side spin. So barely any right side spin. You know, but I thought we would need it to counter effect the wind. I'm aiming literally in the exact same area as my other shot. And I thought by reducing it, the right side spin by half and playing the exact same shot, we would get this ball to drop. Perfect ball again. And it's like, it makes you want to pull your hair out, right? So that is a really good landing spot. Clearly, we just need to take off that side spin, okay? Take off the right side spin, and you're going to be a lot better than off than I was. So hole number 5. Now, this is my trick shot. You know, if you don't like it, then just play it straight up. On the right-hand side is how I would suggest playing this hole instead of the huge elevation drop for shot number 2, rough bump. But this is how I play this hole. Anytime I get tailwind, even when it's blowing from left to right, you can still make this shot. And yes, you can make it with an extra mile 7. You can make it with an extra mile 8. How do I know that? Since I have an extra mile 9, because keep in mind, I haven't always had an extra mile 9. I've had the lower clubs before too. We've had this hole in tournaments in the past. I've always used those rocks to kick me over to this part. Because when you do that, it leaves you with a thorn shot to try to drop the eagle, like we did in the qualifying round. Now, I didn't drop it this time. As you can see here, my graphic says needs to be played 15% at max. The shot you are seeing right now is played 10% at max. I'm aiming right before the fringe. It just seems to be a better bounce on this hole. Perfect ball. And you see the common theme here on my pro round. I'm just missing barely. So if we were to add 5% elevation to that shot, it would force us to pull our rings more to the left by 0.2, and then we would have dropped that shot in for another eagle. So, you know, I hope everybody's watching and listening to the commentary, but, you know, these shots that are super close are going to fall for you. I'm very confident of that. Okay, hole number 6 leaves us with a really good chance to drop an Alba. Remember on the qualifying round, this was a very difficult hole because it gave us back-to-back headwind, and I believe we had to use a berserker. Here we're going to just use a kingmaker, and you can see we're playing this right down the middle. Plenty of room here on the fairway to work with. Now, the thing that we like about shot number 2 is we're getting nice wind. We're getting tailwind, and the wind is in our favor, moving from right to left, since that's where the ball, since that's where the hole is positioned on this green. I need you to take a look at the spin. So 5.5 back with 2 left. I'm at the +5 yard mark with my sniper, and I'm trying to aim as dead center as possible. It's a little hard to see on this hole. This is played 10% at max, so this was almost 6 rings. I think it was 5.9. I don't write that kind of stuff down, but I was like, okay, well, there we are again. We get the little zoom in, and we just burn the right edge of the cup. So, well, let's try to add a little bit more left spin, right? Let's do the same spin. Let's go 5.5 back, and this time, let's go, you know, almost 2.5 to the left. Let's aim at the same spot. Yep. I'm at the +5 yard mark. Yep. I try to duplicate everything whenever I play 2 accounts, and I hit the same drive, okay? We're very close to the same drive. Again, 10% at max, and this time, since I missed right, I added just a little bit more left side spin, and it's like, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, come on. So I burned the right edge and the left edge of the cup. So what does this tell you? It tells you that the 5.5 bars of backspin is golden because we love the speed. What do we need to do? I would probably play it with the last side spin, the 2 and like 2.2, 2.3 side spin to the left. And I would just maybe aim my ball guide line in the cup, but on the right-hand side of the pin. So close for an albatross. I'm very confident some of you are going to pick that one up when you see those 2 replays if you really study it. Okay, we're going to get a little creative here. Now, this is a big topper. You can do this with any big topper. No big deal. What I'm looking for here is I want you to notice this palm tree. All right, so notice the palm tree. What I am doing is I am applying, we're going to see here. Go back to the spin. Full top, as much top as I can, with almost 2 bars of right side spin. Now, I've got my ball guideline right here, like almost up against where it touches the tree branch, but it doesn't. So there's your point of reference for what I'm doing. This is again going to be another power slice shot. I believe this will be a really good consistent play to go this way. The only thing that happens to me is I favored the top spin over the right side spin. Does that make sense? Because with the big topper, you can't go max top and 2 full bars of right side spin. So I favored the top spin thinking I would get more distance and that I was going to be okay by playing the power slice to the right. I was wrong. We need to favor the side spin over the top spin, and we're going to be good. You could try to move your target a little bit more to the right if you wanted to, but I would be afraid of clipping rough. So I like my landmark position that I showed you where to play it at. But again, take a little bit of top spin off and favor the right side spin instead. So then I tried this shot with my APOC. And the thing that I don't like about this shot is I don't like it being close to this water. So you're going to notice here my landmark spot is my yellow ring is the left of my yellow ring is basically right up here against the beach, against the sand. Now, we are not, again, I stress, we are not slicing this ball. We are trying to hit perfect. So do not go out here and do a power slice. We're using the full curl and the full overpower, yes, but you need to try to hit perfect. I hit a great ball to the left, and then you see I end up in the rough on both shots. Now, this is no harm, no foul, okay? You're still going to birdie the par 4 on any of those 2 drives if you hit the rough. It's not a big deal. It just makes your chance to get the eagle much harder. It brings us on here to hole number 8. Hole number 8, I took everybody's advice from the comments of my qualifying round and a lot of messages that I got to my Facebook. And people said that I should really try to play this shot over the bunker. So I'm trying to play it over the bunker. And a lot of people said to play it anywhere from 40 to 50% elevation. So as you can see here, I believe I played this one 45%. Whatever the graphic said is what I played it. This is almost a 9.5 ring pull. Perfect ball. You know, I do like this shot. It does feel very safe. I was nervous about it during the qualifying round. But we need to add a little bit more top spin to this shot and reposition our target. So you can go back and take a look at that one and kind of take some notes on where you think you should land. But we do need a little bit more top spin. Probably 2 bars of top spin or 2.1 would be really good on that hole. Okay, that brings us to hole number 9, and this is the hole we albatross. I do play this at 0% elevation. I always have. That seems to have created a little bit of controversy in my qualifying round. People saying, hey, it should be played 10%. Like, there is no standard of what a hole like should or should not be played in a tournament. It's all going to be wind angle dependent. That's very important. Yes, if we're playing one-on-one tour play, might we play this one 10% every single time? Sure. But at 5.2 mile per hour wind, bowling from right to left, I'm going to play it at 0%. I'm just playing it straight up. And it does work on this hole. Now keep in mind, if we at 5.2 miles an hour, if we were to put this to 10%, I guess I just want to use this as a reference point here. So 5.2 is 2.9 rings, okay? If I play at 0%, we're talking about 2.6. So it's a very, very small amount of ring difference. And there's so much fairway on the left and right-hand side that that's not going to matter. I just played at 0. It's always worked for me. And then this one, I'm also playing at 0 with the tailwind, right? We're almost getting straight up tailwind. So I'm going to play this shot straight up. I use 1 bar of backspin. As you can see, I'm landing just a little bit short of the hole and making sure that I'm positioned as dead center as I can. And I'm going to hope to hit perfect and just let the wind do the work for me, push me to the pin, right? We do pick up the albatross with a perfect ball. I rolled the cup on my other account, so this is a very good opportunity for an albatross, and the elevation's playing really nice. The only difference was on my other account, I had 5.6 mile per hour wind, and this one was in the 4s. Dead center, smack it in for the albatross. I hope you found the video helpful. I really do. I hope if you're not a subscriber, you become one. It would mean a lot to me. And just take a little second there and hit that thumbs up button and like the video. Best of luck, everybody. Thank you for watching.